And so it is my distinct honor and sincere pleasure to introduce Senator John Edwards.
Thank all of you for coming and coming into this very crowded, sweltering place. It's really my privilege to be here with you. As all of you know, we've had a relatively rough 48 hours. But here's my view about it. If my wife Elizabeth, confronted with what she's confronted with, can say that the future of the country is at stake, and our choices are to go stand in the corner and protect ourselves and hide, or to go out there with toughness and strength and courage and fight for what we believe in. And we're going to choose to fight for what we believe in. My view is that the single greatest responsibility of the next President of the United States is to change the way the world looks at America. We have so much work to do on that front. We so desperately need a president who's a good and decent human being, and honest, somebody that we can trust and that the world can trust. And the president needs to travel the world in the first 3 months, literally, and to speak to the world about the idea that is America. Not just the place, the idea. And the idea that is America is equality. I mean real equality. Cultural equality, ethnic equality, faith equality. It is the heart and soul of who we are, but the world does not believe that about us now. They think America is at war with the Muslim world. It has to change. It has to change. And it requires more than just talk. You know, you think about this, this is not just about all of us feeling good about ourselves. It's about stability. It's about security. Because today, there is no place around which the world can rally when crises occur. I mean, the president of Iran tries to get a nuclear weapon. America goes to the Security Council, tries to summon a diplomatic response. And the rest of the world resists us. They not only don't come to us, they resist us. We've become the country of Guantanamo and Abu Ghraib. We're no longer seen as a force for good. It has to change. The world has to see America as a country that understands its responsibility, not just to our selfish interests, but to the interests of humanity. And this is what it's going to take. Not just words from the president, but America's going to have to be willing to do things that don't appear to be in our own selfish interests. Let me just share a couple of ideas with you. Today, as probably all of you know, there's a genocide going on in Western Sudan and Darfur. Hundreds of thousands of people have been slaughtered at the hands of the Janjaweed militia, supported by the Sudanese government. The Sudanese government's engaged in genocide. The Sudanese government's propped up by the Chinese who buy oil in Sudan. Now, for just a moment, look at this through the eyes of the rest of the world instead of through our eyes, which is something America needs to learn to do again. If you're the rest of the world, this is what you say. In the wake of Rwanda, the most powerful nation on the planet has declared that a genocide has occurred. And then step back and watch it continue. What would you think of us? Tonight, there will be thousands of children born in Africa with AIDS because their mother can't pay for a $4 dose of medicine. And the richest nation on the planet allows this to continue. What would you think of us? There are so many opportunities for America to once again be a force for good, but we're going to have to do what my wife Elizabeth's doing. We're going to have to show a little backbone and a little courage. We're going to have to quit worrying about what's political and what's careful and what sells well and actually do what's right. Today, there are 100 million children, 100 100 million children on the planet who have no access to public education, no access to primary school education. The only chance they have of learning to read and write in the Muslim world is in madrasas, where they're taught to hate the United States of America and what we represent. You want to talk about a transformational idea instead of careful politics? Here's a transformational idea, and I proposed it. This is it. That America lead an effort to make primary school education available globally to all of 100 million children. That's a transformational idea. How about if we have the guts to say that in America, we believe in equality. We believe in equality of opportunity, and we don't just believe in it for ourselves, we believe in it for the world. That's a transformational idea. And everyone steps back and says, now wait a minute, how can you sell this politically? I'm not interested in selling it politically. I'm interested in doing what's right. And how about if America, and by the way, everybody says, how much does this cost? We have spent $500 billion and counting in this god-awful mess in Iraq. The cost for America to provide primary school education to 100 million plus children is between $3 and $5 billion a year. $3 and $5 billion a year. Listen, we got to do what's right again. The world has to see America as a force for good. The world has to look at the United States and say, they're the light. That's who we want to follow.
That's right.
We're always going to see dangerous leaders and dangerous individuals around the world. I'm not naive about that. None of us are. But what we want is we want the world to come to us. It will never happen unless they see us as a force for good.